And who can tell me some places that you might see percent change, like stuff like 50% more or a reduction of 25%? Where's Lucian? Where might you see it? Shopping, yeah. So like when you're shopping, like tax, discounts,
like twice as much expensive as it should be, and then make it half.
Markups. I had to do that a whole summer at my dad's restaurant in the gift shop. I had to get the invoices and then like see how much we paid for the stuff in the gift shop and then mark it up by a certain percentage.
Did you get paid?
Yeah. What else, Lauren? So out to eat. Restaurants, you're going to do like tax, tip. There's discounts sometimes, but usually if a restaurant's offering a discount, there's something wrong.
Wait, should we write these down?
No, you don't need to write. It's good. Monica.
Stocks?
Yeah, stocks. Do you guys hear that on TV? Like the Dow's up 2.4%. That's a percent change. Or it's down, whatever, up or down each day. Count.
Like paying annual taxes for like your house.
Taxes. So that's not going to be a percent change.
Oh,
that's the fixed percentage that you kind of pay.
Oh, yeah.
But it is still a percentage.
Doesn't also when you sell stuff.
Yeah, commission would be one, although I'd appreciate a hand. Does everybody know what commission is?
Yeah.
Like if you're someone that's in sales, usually you make a percentage of the things you sell. That's still not it's kind of a percent change. I'm going to circle that one. That's not really a percent change either. Yeah.
Like free throw percentage?
So that's not a change. But year to year, you could say someone's this percent better. Yeah.
So why is it bad if a restaurant has a discount?
Well, let me push pause on the video here.
50% less fat.
Yeah, you see stuff like 50% less fat or something.
On the reduced fat Doritos, they sell them on.
Yeah, or like your teeth will be 25% whiter. And I'm like, how do they... You ever hear that on like toothpaste commercials?
Yeah,
how do they get a number for teeth whiteness? I don't know. But the way that these percentages are found is there's an original number, a new number, and then you can calculate a percentage of change. And you do that by doing this. You find the amount of change and you divide by the original. So this is the equation that we're going to use to calculate percentage change. So if you flip over your paper, it'll ask for the percent change from 8 to 9.5. Okay? And so, this one's pretty easy just to see how much it changed by. But if we're going to use the amount of change divided by original, what that might look like is 9.5 minus 8. That'll tell us how it changed. And the original is 8. So that's 1.5 divided by 8 for 18.75% increase. So that's explaining how things change. Really what that means is if I took this number here and I multiplied by 1.875, I'm going to get this number here. No, it doesn't. 1.1875. So how it changes divided by the original. So looking at the next one, from 22 to 44, the amount of change is going to be 44 minus 22. I divide that by the original amount, 22, and that is a 100% increase. Be careful in your calculator, right? This up here is grouping for order of operations. So in your calculator, when you type this in, you either need to put this in parentheses and then hit divide, or what I usually do, if I need the calculator, is I do 44 minus 22 and I hit the enter or equal button, and then I push divide by 22 after I've calculated the difference. But if you just type in your calculator, 44 minus 22 divided by 22, what's it going to do first? Yeah, and then it's not going to give you your percentage, right? So, like I said, make sure that gets calculated first. There's a couple ways to do that, but you need to use order of operations. Your calculator's not smart enough to know what you want, right? Cool. So I want you to try the next. I want you to go down to there's that bigger gap on your sheet, okay? So work down to suppose the price. Work all the way down to suppose the price. Oh, wait. I want to talk about this 100%, by the way. So how do I get from this number to this number? Like, how could I get to it? Like, multiply by 2. But that's a 100% increase, and here's why. if you were to multiply something by 100%, what's 100% as a decimal?
1.
1. So if you multiply something by 100%, what's the percent change? It doesn't change, right?
Okay.
So that's why it's a 200%. You'd have to multiply by 200% to make your 100% change. So your base for no change is actually 100%. 100% is no change, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why it's times 2, but it's 100% growth. Okay. Let's check out these answers for the practice problems. Any of them that you'd like to look at? Together. Yeah.
I don't get how I did the percent decrease for 89 to 51 that one.
So amount of change over original. So amount of change, 89 minus 51, would tell us how it changed. And I'm dividing by the original 89.
Yeah, but then how do you get...
So that gives me 42.7, and then the only thing that I have to do to signify decrease is write decrease.
Yeah, but if you're doing 89 minus 51 and then dividing... You divide by 89.
Yeah, you divide by the original. Amount of change divided by... So amount of change is like absolute value, right? There's not... Whether the change is positive or negative, it's just the amount of change, right? Which is like absolute value and then divided by the original. Cool. Now let's put this into work. So we're finding percentages for all these. You'll notice at the bottom of your notes, you're given some percentages. So here's how that looks. You're getting this TV, okay? And it is reduced 10%. So you're going to be 10% off of your TV. That's $449.50. Okay? And the question is, what's the new price? So there's a couple ways to do this. Any advice for me? What's one way we could do this? Spencer?
So you put 449.5 over 10, and then you take the number you get, and then subtract that off 449.5.
So you're going to find 10% and subtract it. Okay. So another way we could do that, instead of dividing by 10, we could multiply by 0.1, and you want to subtract that from 449.50, you're saying. Right? That's what you're saying. I do it a different way. Your way's fine. Rock it if you want. What's another way, Adam?
Just to make it shorter and simpler, you can multiply by 1.1 so that you're getting, oh wait, it's off. Okay.
So what, so you gave me a 10% increase.
Yeah.
I want a 10% decrease.
Could you
If it's
divide?
If it's 10% off, what percent's left?
Oh,
90%.
90%.
So this is what I would do. It's going to give you the same thing.
Yeah.
Both these, and I'm actually going to show you in a second here that they are the same after we get an answer. That these two expressions are the exact same thing. The sale price is $404.55, okay? Now, let me show you that it's the same thing. Would you guys agree that this expression here is the same as this expression here? No, wait.
Where?
Yes. Yeah.
Because 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9, right? So check this out. Watch when I distribute here. Look at this, guys. This is this. This is this. This is that. Cool, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I just like this one because less stuff. Save the turtles and yell about alley-ooping all day. Feel me? Less paper. So let's look at another one. We got this population of bears. I don't know if anybody has much experience with bears, but there were 270 of them, and it's going up 37% from 1970 to 1980. More bears is always a good thing, if you ask me. So, if I have 270, how do I show an increase of 37%? Lauren. 1.37. Remember, 100% is our base. If we were to multiply by 100%, there's no change. So I need 137% to have a 37% increase. 100% is no change. So if I take 270 bears, multiply it by 1.37, I get 369.9 bears. But you can't have 0.9 bears. It's not like some cub missing a paw or something. You round to the nearest bear. Okay? Same as people. You get 0.7 people, that's a whole person. You can't have part of a person. Okay? Now there's 370 bears. And it's saying from then till 2005, it goes up by 115%. What am I going to multiply by? I'm going to show you the most common wrong answer. Because what's the percent increase on that one? No. That's just a 15% increase. Right? 100% is no change. So I need 215% to multiply by. 100% is no change. 100% is base. So I take 370 of those bears.
That's a lot of bears.
Yeah.
It depends.
That's some teddy bears.
I'm going to get 796 bears. Okay? Bears are taking over the world. The big idea here is when we're using this percent increase decrease, what's the base percentage that you start with? No change is 100%. Base is 100%. That's important. Because then if you're taking 20% off, what percent's left? 80. If you're increasing by 20%, that's 120%, right? So the base being 100 is important.